My whole pen. Oh, of course. Perfect. Hey, everybody. This is Coach in the City coming to you live on our Motivation Monday. I'm really excited for today because we have like a super topic, and it is: Are you making excuses, or I don't forgot? Jesus, are we making excuses, or are we making it happen? Right. So I came up with this yesterday. Yeah, I was thinking about it yesterday, but I really try not to post stuff on Sunday because, like, a lot of people go to church and they be posting all these thought provoking things that their pastor shared. And I didn't want to fall into that group. So I just decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to post it, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. And because it's real, Lord knows I experience both. I make plans and I make excuses. So I'm going to dive right on into it. Right. So let me. I was romancing my own self, sitting up here waiting for this live to go forward. So when we talk about are you making plans or making excuses, um, I always want to lead with the positive, right? But what's perceived positive or what's perceived negative. But I'm going to actually start with making excuses. And I want to talk about it. So I looked up an excuse, and it says excuses are rationalizations we make to ourselves about people, events, and excuses. They're invented reasons we create to defend our own behaviors, to postpone taking action, or or simply as a means of neglecting responsibility. That was a mouthful. That was really a mouthful. And so many times when we think of like making an excuse, you just think like because somebody don't want to do it. I mean, if we're getting down to the crux of it, sometimes that's what um, that's what we think. But in digging a little bit deeper, because everything's not surface. So that's the first thing I want to say. Everything's not it's not surface. So it's really important that we dive into like why do people make excuses, and feel so one of them is fear of failure, fear of embarrassment, fear of success. Still something that I'm still trying to wrap my full mind around, because why wouldn't someone want to be successful? um I don't understand that, but I do understand the things that come with being successful. And those are like them long lost cousins, you feeling used, or people only like come to you when you're of benefit to them. So I get that. And so if that's one of the reasons why you don't want to be like fully successful, I get it. But if you don't want to be successful because of the pull is going to that it's going to take on you, I highly recommend setting boundaries. Um, because I don't borrow what people can't. I don't let people borrow what they can't give back, or I don't let people borrow what I don't plan, what I'm not willing to lose. You know, and but that's a whole coaching session on borrowing and lending people money. But back to reasons people could possibly make some excuses. The fear of uncertainty. Um, and I get that one. As a entrepreneur, it's a lot. It is a lot, as I state I think every Monday or every week that I go live, like I'm out of this financial auditing game in 2 years. There's uncertainty. I mean, well, most people will be uncertain. Um, I knew it 3 years ago. I just started speaking on it this year. So it took me 3 years to process and to say, yo, Nancy, you about to be out the game in in 2 more years, Jazz. Can you get my iPad? So sorry. Um, the uncertainty, because I have a nice guaranteed paycheck. Got a couple of them, but the one I'm willing to give up, that's a huge hunk. And the uncertainty of when it's going to balance out, I don't know. How do I know that the clients I have now, will I have them in 2 years? Will I have triple, double? You just don't know. But the one thing I do have is faith. So if God is nudging me to give up my financial auditing piece in 2 years, then I know that He's going to provide everything that I want, including the 5 acres of land that I want to build my Coach in the City Serenity ground on. So that is a fear of uncertainty. People fear responsibility. There's a lot of people, they want stuff, but they don't want the responsibility to go with it. It's like you want the paycheck to be the manager, but you don't want to make the decisions as a manager. Or you want the salary paycheck, but now you bugging because they want you to come in after hours. Well, that's the part of salary. Salary is, it's whether you come in 1 hour or you come in 100 hours. So you can't, I'll go back to, I know so many people, I can make so much more money, on hourly wage. Do that then. Hey, if that works for you, do it. But heavy is the head that wears the crown. You know, when I retired from the Army, I did my 23 years. And so, in finding during my job interview, where most people are like, oh, yes, I can do this, I can do that. I was like, listen, what's important to me? I don't want to be in charge. I don't want to be the one that has to turn the lights on, turn them off. Um, I just, I just didn't want it. Tell me what I need to do and give me a suspense. I got it. When you've been in charge for years, that's not something that I know. I don't. Mm-mm, I could pass on. I've done it before. It was nice. It was great. You got the pomp and circumstance, but then it's that other part. It's your phone ringing 3 o'clock in the morning, um, 3 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday while you in church, while you trying to be grown. Yeah, text messages still come. So the fear of responsibility is why people make excuses, or they be like, hey, I just want to be an hourly employee. All right, hey, however that works for you, hope it works, but um, factor everything into it, and also making mistakes. People make excuses because they don't want to make a mistake, and I how they say, I feel it's never a mistake. It's experience. And at the at my own hands, I have a whole lot of experiences. I've created a whole lot of experience where people say I created a whole lot of mistakes. I've created a whole lot of experiences for myself. And but you know what? It made me stronger. It made me more aware. It made me look at things from a different vantage point. So for me, it worked out. Um, so, or another reason people make excuses is because they perceive that they're not prepared or they lack confidence or resources. So, one of my on job interviews, or when I was in the Army and I would interview for a position, they would say, what is your strongest trait? My strongest trait always will be I'm very resourceful. I I don't get it. How people's like, I don't know how to do this. You got a phone. There's a public library. Every state, every city, every county has resources. And I'm not ignorant to the fact that everybody may not have um, like access to it, but my question is like, are you really trying? Like, are you really trying? Um, and that's where it comes back. Or is it just easy to say they're not picking up their phone, or I don't understand it, or the paperwork's too long? For everything you want, there's, check this out, bottom line, for everything you want, there's an office with a director over it. Everybody has a boss. I want y'all to challenge me on that one because I know I'm right. Everybody has a boss. And sometimes it requires you to do your due diligence. So let's just say I remember during COVID, it was a backlog of the unemployment claims being processed. So you call one time and you're on hold for 30 minutes, you hang up and you call again. And it seems like it's systematic, right? Got it. So what do you do? So what's your next step? For me, I would say number one, I would start documenting when I was on hold, when it hung up, because they're aware too. Then I would start, because every office have a contact us. I would openly, wherever there's an email address, I would email them. So all your thoughts every time, have a running tab on your Microsoft Word of all the time, dates, the people that you talk to, and getting whatever issue it is resolved. Or if it's not a issue, whatever resource you need, like cut and paste and send, cut, paste, send. Don't be afraid to go to somebody's boss, because guess what we do when we don't get what we want or we need something to be elevated. Imagine at Walmart, Target, anywhere. When people aren't honoring their coupons, we be like, oh, where's your manager? And even if the manager is kind of snarky, what do? We go to corporate. Well, if you don't, you should, because Nancy Coppage Benton, she goes to corporate, right? And I get resolution. So um, masking. So even in making excuses, we're going to get to the positive part, but I'm just saying, even in making excuses, it's like masking your pain with a painkiller. So here's a true, honest assessment of myself. Since I'm not a hypocrite, I tell my truth. So y'all know for the past months, I've been telling you I'm like 90 something percent with this website. This website is popping. It is amazing. Very proud of it, but I am stuck. I am stuck. So I was actually going to share my screen with you guys, but I'm not no more. But I've been stuck for like 2 months. So how did I mask my pain with my website? You know what I did? Because I was getting frustrated time and time again. So when we go back to these fears, mine was I was afraid to make a mistake. I was afraid, and I just wasn't sure, and I got frustrated. So what did I do? In the meantime, I was just like, I need to do it, but I'm not. Guess what I'm going to do? So I opened an additional line, like a home line to my Coach in the City. It's called the City Life. So that's what I did. It's prospering, it's flourishing real good, but that still doesn't change the fact that that was like a painkiller, because my pain is I'm stuck. I've been spooling on these two things on my website for like the past 2 months. So I'm doing better. Um, you got to work on it. I got to work on it. Work on making excuses. So, because the bottom line is you either do or you do not. Like, you know how they like you, it's a yes or no question. Did you or did you not? I mean, what else can you say? Like, you either did it or you didn't. So are you going to do? Like, stop procrastinating or making excuses, or not, and you continue making excuses. Um, so let's talk about these if nots. If we don't stop making excuses, and you can insert, so for me it's my website. Okay. I make excuses. I bullshit with my Coach of the City website. That's my truth. Okay. Um, because of either lack of responsibility. If I don't, right, how am I supposed to grow my company and my website is 90% done? That does absolutely nothing for me, and it gives my potential clients absolutely nothing. As a matter of fact, my website's not even up because I refuse to put it up not complete. But that's also another thing I'm going to talk about before we pivot. Um, Self-made or limiting beliefs. So if I don't work on it, right? If I don't get this website done, for me, I'm not going to be able to grow professionally. And my coaching and city business is not going to grow. Um, I'll have continuous regrets because every time I do something else, I'm like, boom, I'm popping. Like this is good, but it still come back to me like, yo, Nancy, you need to finish your damn website. That's my truth. I need to. Um, and I have a pessimistic outlook on like the internet. I don't like. I'm not confident in it. It's not that I don't like it because guess what? I get on Twitter, I get on Instagram, I get on Facebook, I'm on Canva. Listen, I'm willing and dealing. I can do what I want to do on the internet. So fill in for yourself the stuff that you doing because you want to do and that stuff that you sitting over in a corner because you don't like it. Kind of like the peas. People don't like peas. They hear kids separated on their plate. That. Um, and also by putting for me, but by putting things off, by making excuses, it really just makes you so very unproductive. It just makes you unproductive because we're doing everything. People say, "Oh, I'd rather cut grass with scissors," and you got like a 2-acre yard before you start on something. Um, but the bottom line is, even after you finish cutting the grass with scissors, your previous task is still undone. So here's the ask yourself question, because I had to ask myself. I told y'all I am my own life coach. What excuses do I tend to make? Like, what excuses do I tend to make about whatever it is, be it losing weight, going to the gym, doing homework, getting another job, being a better person, being a better friend, seeking mental health, um, going to the doctor for an annual, like your breast exam, for men, the prostate, um, talking to somebody about life insurance. What excuses do I make? Do I tend to make about this subject? And you can fill in your own blank. By making an excuse for this subject, what am I settling for? So for me, by not completing, um, not having my full website up, right now I'm settling that the universe isn't going to get to know how awesome I am today. So today I might have lost clients, um, or I might have lost potential clients. Um, and the last question is, why am I making excuses? And know that excuses they generate from us. The world don't give us an excuse. We generate our own excuses. Now there's a difference between constraints and restraints that you have absolutely no control over. But let's be real, there are things that when we want to do it, we get it done. Be it if you try to be out in them streets and you need a babysitter, oh, you're gonna find a babysitter. You're gonna find a way to pay them. You're gonna do everything you gotta do to get in them streets. Whether if you want to get your nails done, if you want to get the bundles, if you want to get those Jordans. I've known people to stand outside the shoe stores to wait for the latest and greatest, right? So you know how to put in work. You know how to exert effort for the stuff that you want to. So here's the thing, and here's the next question. So these things that you're making excuses for, do you really want to do it? Because if you really want to do it or really need to do it, guess what you're going to do? You're going to do it. All right. So Where am I? Okay, so the next question would be, how do these excuses prevent me from moving forward? So even if you're like a trash friend, I mean, honest, if you are like horrible, if you're always late, if you know you're messy, if you're late for work, if the quality of work you put out at work is like low budget, how does that? And you'd be like, oh, my head hurt today, or whatever your excuse is. How does that prevent you from moving forward? So, in whatever you're making excuses about, how is that preventing you from being better? So that's the question. So everybody has their own fill in the blank. So how does that prevent you from moving forward? And how do I cripple myself? How do I cripple my ability to get what I want? Because by making excuses, that's what you're doing. Because your excuse is attached to you, and you're feeling some type of way about it. That's why you make it. Or as other people say, oh, they're very defensive about it. You feel some type of way. Either you know you should be doing it, or for whatever reason you're not. But you're not. You don't make excuses unless you're like a pathological liar. You just make an excuse just to lie. But most people are making excuse out of fear, obligation, and guilt. Fear, obligation, and guilt. That is called the fog. You are making your excuse out of fear, obligation, and guilt. So let's get to the good part, right? Um, how do you make it happen? Set your mind to it. You you get an accountability partner. So I hope everybody has an accountability partner to where you really tell them your true Hollywood story. They know your why, and they help you um, go or move towards your why. So I say you got to have an accountability partner. You got to have an accountability partner that don't care that you get mad and if they don't talk to you for 3 or 4 days because you in your feelings. Because in the end, like once you accomplish your goal, you're gonna come back and thank them. So um, I say the way to make it happen is first to know, write the plan down yourself. Like write it down in detail. Like this is what I want. This is why I want it. And if you can't regurgitate why you want something, then you don't want it. I mean, it might be nice to have, but when you really desire something, you know the 5 W's and how. And nobody will have to Google anything to get it to you because that's your thing. That is really, really your thing. So the next step, um, and are you making it happen? Are you making a way? Is to find your resources. Like not only just find your resources, but like do like a formal, like go to the source. You don't need to do that third party stuff or your friend knows somebody who work at wherever. No, do it yourself. Read it yourself. Pick up the book yourself. Go down to the establishment. Read the terms and conditions yourself. Don't look for the shortcut. Don't look for the Cliff Note version. Read the terms and condition. Read the fine print. Do the math longhand. Whatever you have to do, because ultimately it's your decision. It's the thing that you want. And just in think about something that you wanted and that you broke your back and probably some loss to get. Put that same energy towards making a way, but make sure it's legal, ethical, and not immoral in doing it. Because you, in anything you do, you want to make sure that you're going about the right way. Because God ain't gonna bless nothing that you had to lie, cheat, steal to get. So that's my little spiritual plug in that one. But in making a way, pray about it. Ask God to help you. Ask God to send you the right people. Ask God just to create that avenue for you. Because some people, I was talking to my husband, Lorray, and we were talking about a course of action. And I said, you know what, husband, before we ask anybody, we're going to ask God. And that's the honest to God truth. He was like, you're right. So before, it's so easy if your norm is to, I need $100 for this. Before you start sending out that same text or your side note, because Coach in the City be correct, okay, and I'm matter of factly, before you send out that same text to 20 people to get $100, ask God first and give God an opportunity. So ask God, have an accountability partner, write it down, pray on it, and do the work. Like, do the work, set yourself up for success. I was working on a I'm gonna show y'all my calendar. I hope y'all can see it. I have a date on the 27th. I don't know if y'all can see it, right? I backward planned um like 2 weeks before, and in my calendar I have damn near if statements. If I don't receive this response by this date, I'm gonna send a reminder. I mean, I have so many reminders set up. I have emails. I've already prompted it. I've prepared for a whole lot of things because I know that I got to get this ball going, right? So this whole little month of July calendar is for one event that's supposed to happen at 11:30 on July 27th. And for that one event, I have 7 reminders. 7 reminders. But you know what? That event's going to be a success. I promise you that. Why? Because what gets checked gets done. So that's like a Lean Six Sigma principle. What gets checked gets done. So you have to think about, even for yourself, the thing that you really pay attention to, that's what gets the attention. So start whatever that thing is in your life, really start working on it. Like, not just, oh, I want it to happen, but what date do you want it to happen? Or do you have reminders set up to reach out to some people? Like, what's your plan? What's your what if statements? Where's your backup? Where is your different courses of action? Because you got to have it. Like, this is your life, man. I'm telling you. Let me tell you what I'm thinking about. So I was in the gym today, and a song by Ludacris came on, Move. Y'all know the rest. Move, B, get out the way, get out the way, B, get out the way. And that's how life is. Like, you holding up space. There's always somebody that, and I'm not even talking about like in competition, but you holding up air. You taking up space. You playing. People coming out of COVID ready to live. Because over what 500K have died, folks are ready to live their best life. And I'm not even talking about, partying up and traveling. We done seen deaths. We done seen U-Haul trucks like packed with bodies in this past year. Think back to what the news was this time last year, what was on the news. So I hope you guys are really making the choice to live. I tell people I'm a life coach, not a death coach. I'm here to live. I'm living and I'm winning. I'm winning in my own right. because everything I set out to do, I do it. I do it. I will no longer say I'm fearful. I'm just saying I'm faithful. This whole coaching the city, my life coaching company, jumped out on faith. This the city life, the home line, jumped out on faith. Matter of fact, I told somebody about it, and they looked at me crazy, like, "Why would you do that?" Like real talk. Looked at me, and I'm just like, man. But baby, listen, God didn't give it to you, so I don't expect you to understand. Because my purpose, God has already made room for my purpose. He's just waiting for me to have faith, more faith in Him than I have for myself. And that's what I've done. That's what I've learned in COVID. So, like, stop with the excuses. Stop with the excuses. You don't want to work. You don't want to work out. Is whatever you don't want to do um, worth? Like, if you don't want to work out, is it worth the heart attack? Is it worth the high blood pressure? Is it worth the possible stroke? Is it worth diabetes? You eating, drinking like crap loads of sugar? You not going to work? Is it worth you? Your house being foreclosed, your car being repossessed? Is you tricking worth some disease you can't get rid of? See, this the coaching to see. Okay, so this is the coach in a city after hours. Because the church people be like, "Oh, how'd you say that?" Because I said it. Like whatever you're doing, because that's you. You don't want to change. Is it worth? Is it worth it? In the end, is it worth it to you? With whatever you do, would you call your mama and say, "Hey, mama, this is what I've done"? Be the best you. Not this little, oh, this is the best I am right now, because we can always be better. You know what? There's people, very less fortunate people. This is what I'm aware of, whose heart was more generous than mine one time in my life, because I was very self-focused. People who had way less materialistically than I had. But boy, the glory that was upon their life, the joy they had, like just the freedom and the peace. So that's what all this stuff that moves to. We're moving from doing what we want to do to our life purpose of ultimately what we're here, because we all have a purpose for the universe. We all have a story. And you're not going to get where you want to be until you start walking in that purpose. So if you're scared, how do you say you scared? Say you scared. Tell God you're scared, and He'll bring the people to help remove that fear and increase the faith. So thank you all for listening to this motivational Monday. Stop making excuses. Like, make a way, because there is a way. Think about it. There is a way. Are you tapping into it? Which is one of the tenets of coaching the city. My question is, are you tapped in? Are you tapped into what it is, what is out there for you outside of your house, outside of your laptop, your phone, your Android, your tablet, whatever you want to call it? There's more for you in the world than you can see. How do they say? If you are only seeing what you see, then you're not seeing all there is to see. Because life doesn't stop outside your front door. So y'all have an awesome week. I'll be back on Wednesday for Wind Down Wednesday. I might be back some more because I'm really getting the downloads and the things that I'm called to share. But everybody can make it happen. Everybody can make a way. And if you think you don't have the means, I charge you to go to God in prayer, because you may not have the means, but He might have someone coming your way to help you, to make the way with you, not for you. Is with. Okay, these are collaborations. Ain't nobody come. How does ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis? We are there to help, not to do it. We are there to help, not to hinder. So I say, like, are you helping or are you hindering? Right. So y'all have a good one. I'll talk to y'all later. You got any questions? Y'all know how to contact me. Thank you for listening. Please like and share. And I'll start posting my YouTube videos because these are recorded simultaneously on YouTube for you to like, share, send to your friends, write or leave a comment. And if anytime you want to jump on one of these platforms with me, let me know. Everybody's always welcome here at Coach of the City. Have a good one.